We move now to head 03 with Judiciary. At 03, Judiciary supplementation of $50 million. Who's doing it? Oh, Levish is coming. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
I now invite the Minister of Justice to make a brief opening statement.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The judiciary, as a third arm of the state, is charged with the responsibility of resolving disputes that arise in our society and that are brought before the courts, ensuring justice, stability, and the rule of law in our society. While the judiciary as an independent institution of state must remain and must also appear unbiased in disputes that arise between citizens and the state, there must be comity of relations between the separate arms of the state, parliament, executive, and judiciary. There must be a mutual understanding of purpose, roles, and objectives of each arm and agency of the state so that policies, laws, and resources are applied in keeping with the needs of the society for the application and dispensation of justice. In this regard, there remain open lines of communication between the Honorable Chief Justice in his administrative capacity as head of judiciary with his administrative arm and the executive and its agencies and departments to ensure that resources and government support are provided for judicial operations and court improvement initiatives. The justice system is an intertwined web of systems that work together to resolve disputes and maintain the law and order of society. Delivery of justice requires collaboration among justice sector agencies, including government agencies, the public and private bar, and public and private bodies that convene together in the arena of the courts of justice in support of the overarching goal of dispensing justice. In its administrative capacity, the judiciary continues to rely on the Attorney General as a conduit to the executive branch, the cabinet, and the legislative branch because there is no direct representation by the judiciary at either forum, and so the voice of the judiciary is expressed through its conduit, the Attorney General. In this dispensation, collaboration between the judiciary, the Office of the Attorney General, the Minister of Justice, is critical for the effective coordination of justice sector players to achieve the objectives of a well-oiled, speedy, and reliable justice system. In this fiscal year 2025, the judiciary has been allocated just over $708 million for recurrent and capital expenditure. The sum of $642,208,339 has been provided to fund recurrent activities, and $67,200,000 has been provided for capital expenditure and development projects. In keeping with this administration's commitment to ensure a properly resourced judiciary, this administration proposes a supplementary allocation to further support the judiciary's transformation and modernization trust due to a deficient allocation made at the beginning of the financial year. In determining the quantity of the supplementary allocation, the Minister of Finance took into consideration the needs and views of the judiciary, the finite and limited resources of the state, and balanced the needs of the judiciary against the needs of other areas of the state. The proposed judiciary allocation, Mr. Chairman, recurrent expenditure, $50 million. $30 million of that is going to contract employment. Really, the shortfall in the 2025 deficit was 44, so the judiciary of its own will source another $8 million from within its existing budgetary allocation. Fees of $10 million to enable the cost of payment owed to funeral agencies and pathologists and to compensate jurors for their services. And finally, for security services, $5 million to meet the cost of payment to security firms providing essential protection services to the officers of the judicial arm. So you have 35 and 10, 45 and 5 making $50 million. Thank you.
Honorable members, the question is that the 2025 appropriation for Head 03, Judiciary, be supplemented by the sum of $50 million. Can I invite questions? Member for Arima.
Thank you kindly, Chair. Can I, in relation to the funeral agencies, can I inquire how much is owed to the respective agencies and the pathologists and the jurors? Can I get an indication as to how long these fees have been outstanding? And can I also ask for a list of the funeral agencies?
Thank you. At the beginning of the 2025 financial year, the amount owed to funeral agencies amounted to $18.2 million, of which $11.6 million has been paid to date. It must be noted that $8 million in claims were submitted to the judiciary for payment during the 2025 financial year, and the sum of $14.6 million in claims remain pending and owing to funeral agencies. Jurors and witnesses for the period 2017 to 2018, $7,078,664. I don't know if that assists.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. So the only outstanding thing would just be the list of the agencies. The list of the funeral agencies.
The list of the funeral agencies?
You can provide that at a later stage. No?
Yes, I don't have that information now, but that can be provided. Yeah.
I think
We do have it. We do have it, if you may. It's a pretty long list. You want the entire list?
No, I don't need you to read it out. You can just submit it. That's fine.
Das Funeral Home, Sterling and Terry Funeral Home, Simpsons Memorial Limited, Grace Funeral Home, Roland Boudou Funeral Home, I.E. Guide Funeral Home, Denny's Funeral Home, Junior Armstrong Memorial Funeral Services, Belgrove Funeral Home, Ideal Funeral Sanctuary Limited, Clive Allen Funeral Home, White's Funeral Home, Clark and Batu Funeral Home, Boise Boudou Funeral Home, Quashi's Funeral Home, David Guides Funeral Services, David Boudou Funeral Home, I. Armstrong Funeral Home, Precious Memories Funeral Services, Janelle Funeral Chapel Limited, SIMOHSJ Simpson and Sons Funeral Home, Eli Funeral Services.
Can you, I'm grateful for the list, so in submitting same, can you also attach the amounts owed to the individual? And you can submit it. There's no need to give it right now, just in the interest of time.
Thank you so much.
For San Fernando East.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Under line item 02-00116, contract employment for $35 million. Is this contract employment for existing contracts or are these new contracts?
Existing contracts, remember, the contract posts approved in the judiciary, 1,980 approved. The positions filled is 1,402 posts filled. Contract posts vacant, just by way of information, 578 million. So for the contract post already filled, the allocation for the 2025 was $168,500,000, of which there was a deficit of $44 million. So that is part payment towards the $44 million deficit.
Member for Luca Lopino.
Thank you very much, Chair. Mr. Chair, to the Honourable Minister. With respect to that, in response to your clarification. You said that there are 578 vacant contract positions?
78 vacant contract positions, and that's correct.
And is it that the judiciary is looking to fill those positions?
I think in their best attempts, they would certainly like to fill it for the full efficiency of the judiciary.
But in respect to this fiscal year, do you expect any of those positions to be filled? And if so, how many?
I am not too sure I can answer that question right now. I'm sure representations are made, deliberations can be determined, and a rationalization can be reached on the matter.
Mr. Chairman,
But some of
may I
it
come in here?
very important because under the new AJIPA system, they need more masters to fill certain positions for the proper efficiency of especially the criminal justice side of things.
Mr. Chair, to the Honourable Minister, those positions have cabinet approval?
The 578 vacant
Yes.
positions? I am advised that it has, yes. As you know, this has been outstanding. This is what this administration has met with, so this has to be rationalized with the judiciary.
The governance is a continuation. It's a comment.
Member for Diego Martin Northeast.
Yes, within the 3 months left in the financial year, will it be possible to utilize all of the funds you are asking for in terms of recruiting all of these people in the context of the procedures that have to be followed to recruit the persons involved?
Well, maybe I did not make myself clear. These are existing positions that have already been filled by the judiciary, but this is arrears and deficits in payment towards those positions. So it's no fresh recruitment.
No problem.
Thank you.
Just for clarification, this is to supplement, to provide for the shortfall in the allocation made in 2025 budget by your good self, the former Minister of Finance. This is that shortfall.
No other questions? The question is that the 2025 appropriation for Head 03, Judiciary, be supplemented by the sum of $50 million. Those in favor say aye. Those against say no. The ayes have it. Head 03, Judiciary, has been supplemented by the sum of $50 million. Minister of Justice, may I thank you and your staff? Yes. Head 04, Industrial Court. Head 04, Industrial Court, is supplementation of $771,000. I will now invite the Minister of Justice to make a brief statement, the usual 5 minutes on this item.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. This year, 2025, marks the 60th anniversary of the Industrial Court of Trinidad and Tobago, as in 1965 it became the first industrial court to be established in the English-speaking Caribbean. Today, the Industrial Court continues to be an important institution in the delivery of fair and equitable and expeditious justice to citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. The court is seized with the power to adjudicate on and therefore resolve unresolved disputes between employers and unions that deal with the breaches of the Industrial Relations Act, matters relating to maternity benefits, minimum wages, retrenchment and severance benefits, and occupational health and safety matters, amongst others. Further, the court under Section 12 of the Industrial Relations Act regularly engages in conciliation to assist parties in finding amicable, voluntary resolution to disputes. The court is comprised of a complement of experienced and qualified members who are appointed based on expertise in areas of industrial relations, law, economics, and accounting. Additionally, there's a special tribunal which the court was established by the Civil Service Act, Chapter 2301, the special tribunal which hears and determines disputes in the civil service, the police service, the fire service, the prison service, the teaching service, the supplemental police, and central bank. The tribunal consists of the chairman of the essential services division of the industrial court and 2 other members. Mr. Chairman, with regard to the supplemental request made, allocation, for the heading contracted services, the amount that has been requested is $450,000, and some of the service provided under this vote would be the payment of computer-aided transcription reporters who provide court reporting services for the court reporting unit, payment of an MTS horticultural services for the court, payment of Rentokil for pest control servicing. The other heading, Mr. Chairman, short-term employment, the sum allocated for this amount is $187,000. And the other item, it's for security services in a sum of $134,000, making a grand total of $771,000.
Honorable members, the question is that the 2025 appropriation for Head 04, Industrial Court, be supplemented by the sum of $771,000. Member for Ruka Lopino.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair, to the Honorable Minister. Just want to get clarification on the item 28, sub-item 28, other contracted services. Can the Honorable Minister clarify whether or not these verbatim reporters are on the establishment of the industrial court?
In answer to your question, Honourable Member, there are 23 vacancies for that position within the industrial court, and they have not been able to attract that talent, so it is for outside transcription services that this is for. They have to recruit on the outside.
So is it that you are now looking to go out to contract those services? And if so, what is the procurement process that you intend to utilize for this?
No, they want to have to go out. Just to be clear, your answer, if it is for existing contracting services?
Yes.
Yes.
So I'm asking, my first question to you was whether or not these positions are on the establishment of the industrial court.
No, they are not, because that has not been filled. So they had to go out to outside contracting services.
So
how that answers your question?
No, it's not clearly answering my question. So how then do you make use of that service?
How are
you making use of that service? How do you contract or procure that particular service?
Has to contract these services from outside contractors, right? And are retirees from the public service that have been contracted by the industrial court.
So do you have them on a short-term basis? Is that what you're saying?
Long-term, please.
What is it? What is the term? What is long?
Approximately 6 months to a year, member.
So they are within their contractual period at this point in time, Minister?
Yes, they are.
And when do you expect them to complete their contractual engagement?
Well, when the term comes up for...
So what you're asking for would be sufficient to take you to the end of this fiscal year?
Yes, it would.
Okay.
Thank you.
Wanted to provide a clarification.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, I thank the Honourable Minister for his information. It is ironic that my friend from Aruka Lupino is asking these questions, especially when the employment of the very same contract staff took place under their government. And what is being asked now, is to actually meet the gap between what was supposed to have been provided to these very same officers in the last budget by their government. It's very unfortunate that we are spending parliamentary time answering questions that are best answered by those on the opposite side.
Mr. Chair, the purpose of this exercise is to allow the opposition to ask questions based on items being provided. So this exercise is for the benefit of the national community. So if we are annoying the Honourable Minister, then I do not apologize. But we are asking questions in the national interest, and he's not to provide any obstruction to this exercise.
But I think it's unfortunate to characterize the contribution of any member as obstruction or obstructionist. Can I just urge that we use less hyperbolic language, and perhaps you could favor more anodyne language to describe your colleagues? Am I understood? Thank you. Member for Port of Spain North, St. Anne's West.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Mr. Chair, for the record, certainly under this side, when we were in government, there was absolutely no interference with the industrial court and who they may or may not have hired once they had the cabinet authority for the positions. That also applied for the judiciary. So if the Minister of Finance would allow me to finish, so I just want to mark the record that any suggestion that those on this side would have interfered with the industrial court and its operations is a fallacy.
Mr. Chairman, the member for wherever you making?
Member
for wherever?
Members, I don't think that there was any suggestion. I mean, when you look at the utterances, hold on a minute. When you look at the utterances coming both from the Minister of Justice and the Minister of Finance, I don't think there could be any suggestion that there was remotely any insinuation, whether direct, indirect, tangential, or otherwise, that anyone interfered with any court. So it's unfortunate, but let's move on. I take it that there are no other questions on these line
Mr.
items.
Chair, the suggestion was it was done under you all and a reference to,
yes, but
to the chief.
Yes, but let's fairly characterize what was said. And so let's move on, please. I take it there are no other questions to these line items. Member for Roca Lupino.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Item number 43, security services. Can the Honourable Minister indicate or itemize the security firms that these payments are due and outstanding?
The firm used is the MTS, National Maintenance Training and Security Services Company Limited.
Mr. Chair, thank you very much. Can the Honourable Minister indicate whether or not there is an existing contract and the extent and when that contract is due to expire?
And my instructions that the contract has expired. Has expired, yes.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. So let's... Member for Diego Martin Central.
Thank you, Chairman. Chairman, I just wanted to confirm line item 0122, short-term employment. Are these positions additional short-term employment to the end of the fiscal, or is it to cover existing persons?
It is to cover, the answer is it's to cover what is already existing.
So we go now, honorable members, the question is that the 2025 appropriation for head 04, industrial court, be supplemented by the sum of $771,000. Those in favor say aye. Those against, no. The ayes have it. Head 04, industrial court, has been supplemented by the sum of $771,000. Minister of Justice, thank you, and thank your staff.